Hi everyone, I'm David Wojcik and this is MBOT TV. Stories we covered this week, part 5 in our series from CEO Bruce Bowser on digital distraction. This week Bruce talks about the millennials and how they contribute to society. We take a ride in a hydrogen car. We present the rules of engagement regarding the upcoming municipal election. The Hershey Center will henceforth be known as the Paramount Center, and our weekly political update with Brad Button, who has news on Premier Doug Ford launching an investigation into the previous government's accounting policies, cabinet shuffles at the federal level, and business gets a long-awaited dedicated minister. Welcome to MBOT TV, a weekly recap of what happened in business at the Mississauga Board of Trade and around the city of Mississauga. Are you looking for an amazing offer from a prestigious golf course? Listen to what Credit Valley Golf and Country Club has in store for you.
Change the way you do business with a Credit Valley corporate-owned membership. With full transferable privileges and limited space available, this is the way to value clients. Credit Valley Golf and Country Club, making the world of business better.
In part 5 of a 5-part series on digital distraction, co-author Bruce Bowser, who is also the president and CEO of AMJ International, weighs in on millennials and their impact on society and the workplace.
I think they get a bad rap. So I think there's this sense that millennials are entitled and lazy and they don't work as hard. I actually think they work smarter. So we talk about this in the book. I think they do the things you're talking about. They work smarter. I think they saw their parents grow up not having work-life balance, and that's something they desire, and I'm a big fan of that. And I think perhaps the most important thing that I've learned about millennials, I attended a conference and there was a professor speaking, and this is a huge insight for me. He said, here's the big thing about millennials. He said, when I was, and he was my age, he said, when I was a young man and I went to see the doctor, I would go into the doctor's office and usually sit across the desk from him, and he'd have a lab coat on and he'd have a stethoscope around his neck. I would tell him what was going on with me, and he would tell me what the problem was, and he would write a prescription or give me a course of action to take. Today with millennials, they have so much access to knowledge. It's at the tip of their fingers that even me, when they go into the doctor today, they're usually sitting across from somebody. It could well be a female doctor that's sitting across from that doesn't have a lab coat on. It's a very casual interaction, and both of them know that the millennial has done all the research. They know what's wrong with them. They probably know what the treatment should be or what the medication should be. And so it's a whole different interaction. And the same applies to work, right? When I was a young bank manager, I worked in an environment where, based on point systems, that's how you progress through the bank. And part of the reason I left the bank was just, I was hitting too many glass ceilings. Today, millennials, they don't want to just come to work and be told what to do. They want to know why am I doing this. They want to know, what impact is that having, because they have this knowledge base that's so much broader than I had when I was growing up.
Alternative fuel vehicles have been around for decades, and the issues surrounding these vehicles have been many. So we took a tour of a hydrogen vehicle and received this update from the CEO of Mississauga-based Next Hydrogen, Matt Fairley.
Well, it's a combination. It has an electric drive, so if you drove this vehicle, you would think you're in an electric vehicle. It's quiet. It has the acceleration of an electric vehicle, the torque, starting, the launch, and so on. But what's different? What is different about it is that when you come to recharge the vehicle, what you're doing is refueling it, just as you would a gaseous fuel vehicle, like a natural gas vehicle, which is very similar actually to a gasoline vehicle. So what you have is all the benefits of an electric vehicle, zero emission, quiet, and this is generally the approach that when you look at the large car manufacturers, the Hondas, the Toyotas, the Hyundais, they're not building Tesla Model S's. They're building cars just like the cars you have today, except the power plant in them will be zero emission.
With the municipal elections being held on October 22nd this year, and the final date to declare as a candidate coming on July 27th, we thought we should help our audience become familiar with the rules of engagement when it comes to these important elections. We went to the best source at the City of Mississauga, the City Clerk, Diana Rusnoff, for this report.
I think it's a very exciting process to be involved in. I think it's an important thing to really reach out to the community and hear the constituents and know who you're representing. To be a nominee, one needs to be a Canadian citizen, 18 years of age, and be a resident of Mississauga or own property within the City of Mississauga. So we will begin accepting nominations on May 1st, and the last day to submit is July 27th at 2 p.m. Basically after 2, the doors close. And the cost is $100 for a ward councillor position and $200 for the head of council, so for mayor or regional council. I would definitely encourage people to speak to their local councillor to find out what a day is, because in addition to the official council and committee meetings that we have, there's a lot of outreach in the community, spending a lot of time learning about the constituents' issues, resolving some of those issues. Your role on regional council. The signage is based on the sign bylaw, and it's 29 days before the election. Signs can only be put on private property, not on any public boulevards or public property, or anywhere close to within 50 meters of an election voting location entrance. Vote Anywhere, we are on advanced polls, allowing people to vote in any location within the city. So we have 22 locations throughout the city that you can visit. And then on election day, you are allowed to vote in any location within your ward.
Since it opened in 1998, the main 5,400-seat arena in Mississauga has been known as the Hershey Centre. On July 1st, 2018, the centre supports a new name that is well known to the Mississauga community. Paramount Fine Foods struck a 10-year deal with the city, and Paramount CEO Mohammed Faki couldn't be more excited.
Well, I've been waiting for long for that, and like you see, I can't stop smiling even while you're starting the question. And I haven't been stopping smiling since we signed the deal. Like, I'm a Mississauga boy. I mean, I came here, I arrived in Pearson Airport, happened to be in Mississauga with really nothing. I started my life here. This great city has given me great opportunity. The leadership, everybody, Mississauga Board of Trade, the mayor, the previous mayor, everyone in the city has supported me. They embraced my idea. And I always said, if I enjoy going out and eating sushi, I'm sure people will enjoy coming and eating shawarma at my place. So all what I had to do is continue building bridges, be part, fit in, belong. Right? All what you have to do is belong, fit in the community. Putting Paramount name on the building is one more a confirmation of gratitude and a big thank you to the city of Mississauga and for the support and the people of Mississauga. Like, Paramount is a brand that started here. We were born in Mississauga. And with the support of the customers, even the great causes, the festivals, Karasaga, and everything that happened around the city is what made Paramount who we are today.
Brad Butt is coming up with his political update right after this short message on how you can save money on your employee benefits plan.
The Chambers Plan now offers employee benefit programs with greater selection, higher coverage levels, and more value than ever before. Take another look and see why we're the choice of more small businesses than any other plan in Canada. The Chambers Plan. It's for your benefit.
And now for our political update with Director of Government Relations, Brad Butt. Brad?
Well, thanks, David. The Ontario government has established the Independent Commission of Financial Inquiry. Under the direction of the Chair, Gordon Campbell, and Commissioners Dr. Al Rosen and Michael Horgan, the inquiry will be authorized under the Public Inquiries Act of 2009 to assess the previous government's accounting practices and to provide advice and recommendations on how the government can restore trust in Ontario's finances. The Premier and ministers also announced a public request for bids for outside experts to perform a line-by-line audit of all government programs and services. The audit will include public consultations. It will provide the government with a detailed analysis of current spending, benchmark this against other jurisdictions, and recommend areas that can be improved, including identifying efficiencies and cost savings. While Premier Doug Ford attended his first meeting of the Council of the Federations last week, which is an annual gathering of the premiers and territorial leaders. Premier Ford and Premier Moe of Saskatchewan committed to work together to fight any carbon tax that the federal government would impose and has joined Saskatchewan's court case as an intervener. The premiers also made a pledge to work on lowering interprovincial trade barriers, as agreed to in the Canada Free Trade Agreement reached at last year's meeting. The process for dropping trade barriers between provinces has been a long and difficult one. The premiers of Ontario, Quebec, and Manitoba issued a joint release on the issue of asylum seekers crossing the U.S. border into Canada. While stating Canada is a welcoming country, the premiers called on the federal government to cover the total cost associated with hosting these individuals. They also called on Ottawa to beef up border security. And on that note, Prime Minister Trudeau shuffled his cabinet last week, appointing former Toronto Police Chief Bill Blair as the new Minister of Border Security and Organized Crime Reduction. Of particular note to the business community is the appointment of Markham Thornhill MP Mary Ng as the Minister of Small Business and Export Development. Minister Ng has already reached out to both the Canadian and Ontario Chambers of Commerce with phone calls and has indicated her great willingness to work with the business sector more closely than in the past. The federal government has launched an online consultation on developing a new national pharmacare program and is looking to Canadians for their participation. MBOT has sponsored a resolution to be debated at the annual meeting of the Canadian Chamber of Commerce in September on this issue, calling for clear consultations with the life sciences and pharmaceutical industry, as well as insurance providers as experts in this field. To participate in this consultation, please see the web link below. And the region of Peel and its two largest municipalities have launched an interim agreement divvying up the municipal share of cannabis tax revenue once pot becomes legal in the fall. The agreement, announced at the July 12th meeting of Peel Regional Council, will see the region keep 75% of the allocated tax revenues, while Brampton and Mississauga will split the remaining 25%. The federal government's Bill C-45, making recreational cannabis legal, received royal assent on June the 21st. The planned legalization implementation date is October 17th. Back to you, David.
Thanks, Brad. And here's what's coming up at your Mississauga Board of Trade. On August 1st, Membership Matters is at MBOT, a session for new members to discover all the great benefits that your Mississauga Board of Trade has to offer. Seasoned members are always welcome to stop by for a refresher. On August 8th, Good Morning Mississauga is at Air Mills Town Center. Come out and connect with your MBOT colleagues. Book a speaker spot. Where else can you make over 100 cold calls in just 2 minutes? On August 23rd, MNP is the sponsor for our summer patio party at Milestones Heartland. As the summer heats up, this event is the perfect prep for the busy September season ahead. And save the date for the annual Extravaganza Awards of Excellence on November 15th, sponsored by MNP and Closing the Gap Healthcare Group. Details about these stories and events are available at www.mbot.com. Until next week, this is David Wojcik, wishing you continued success in your business.